One of the most common criticisms I hear about Go High Level is that their email deliverability absolutely stinks. The question is that true? Well, today I'm going to break down what email deliverability is, show you my actual results, and how I was able to achieve 81% open rates, 30% click rates, and 99% deliverability rates using the Go High Level platform on a brand new business. And honestly, I was very nervous getting into Go High Level myself, because if you do one quick little search inside of the high level community, you'll hear email deliverabilities with Google, with GHL, clients saying stuff is going to spam, my emails are going to spam, deliverability stinks, yada, yada, yada. Now, I'm not throwing stones or saying that these guys are doing anything wrong, but email deliverability is a pretty complicated topic. And if you're just a beginner, you might just sign up and start sending emails and wonder why it's not working. And this video is going to answer all of those concerns for you. And if you'd like to learn more about Go High Level and what you can do with this incredible platform, you're also formally invited to check out ghl.unbeatabletech.com. That's my affiliate bonus page where I have a ton of freebies and goodies and support that I can give you for free if you decide to use my affiliate link when signing up for Go High Level. All right, let's go ahead and dive into email deliverability. So I want to break down email deliverability into two parts. So email deliverability has a technical aspect. It also has a behavioral aspect as well. Okay, so how was I able to get good email deliverability from the beginning with a new account? Well, here's how. So on the technical side, when you first sign up for any email service, you're going to be using a pooled IP or a pooled domain. I don't know the exact technical term. Basically, everyone is all thrown into the same pile of email senders when they're sending out their emails. And when Gmail or Outlook or any email recipient sees an email coming through, it's going to give the same reputation, the same good or bad vibe that Gmail has about the sender on the entire population. Now, this is good if it's a very clean list of senders, but I hate to say it, there's some Go High Level people that I think are cold calling, who are spamming, who are buying lists and scraping lists and doing things that you just don't want to be a part of. You don't want to have your reputation brought down either. Okay. So that is the Lead Connector email service that they have here. You can see here, I'm using Lead Connector. I'm not saying Lead Connector is bad. I'm saying using the default setup is not a good idea, because your emails will be judged with the bad history of other people who are just not doing things the right way. So if that's the problem, what the solution is to set up what is called a dedicated domain. I did this on day one, and I'll show you how to do it right here. Before I show you how to do it though, let's explain what a dedicated domain is. It basically sets you apart from everyone else on the Go High Level platform or on any email sending platform. When you send out an email, it is signed with your reputation. It's got your John Hancock at the bottom, like digitally, right? And when the recipient sees it, it's saying, hey, okay, this is this own guy's server. I'm going to judge him on his own merit. I'm going to separate it from the performance of anybody else who might be sending from the same platform. So for example, like ConvertKit and other email sending services, they do a very good job of policing all the users on their platform because they need to maintain the reputation of their global sender. But I just don't care, because I'm not going to leave my stuff up to chance anyways. I want to have my own email reputation. So we set up dedicated domains on all of the businesses, all the email addresses that we send. And it's very easy. It's free. I don't know why people don't do it. So all you have to do is, if you're inside the email sending service, you click on dedicated domain, and you can see I have one here, and I could go ahead and create another one if I wanted to. I'll click on add domain. And what you want to do is set up some sort of a subdomain, some way of identifying it. So what I like to do is use my real domain is unbeatabletech.com, right? So I'll put in unbeatabletech.com. But before that, let's call it sender.unbeatabletech.com. Okay, so sender is going to be called a subdomain of that domain. And then I'm going to click on add and verify. And then it's going to give me these records to add to my DNS, my domain registrar. And if you just do this and get it all verified, then you're good to go. I'll explain in just a second. But first, let me show you on my actual one. Here's the one that I'm actually sending from. I can verify my domain. And you can see that once you've added all this little gobbledygook into your Google Domains account or whatever domain registrar you're using, you get verified, and now your reputation is set aside from anyone else's that's out there. Now, if that all still sounds like gobbledygook, what does that mean? It basically means you're going to take all this information, and let's say this is a text record here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that gobbledygook, and I'm going to go into my domain registrar, which is here, and I'll manage the records. I'll scroll down, I'll create a new record, and I'll create a text record. I'll paste in the gobbledygook, and I'll just make sure that this is the correct settings by copying what I need to and pasting it in. And I would hit save, and I would just rinse and repeat and do that. It takes seriously like 2 minutes, and then just takes about, 10 more minutes for it to be verified inside the platform. And once you have all those verified tokens, you are good to go, and your reputation is separate from everyone else's. And to make doubly sure that it's working correctly, once you see that verified and you send yourself an email using Go High Level, you can go and take a look at all the details. So here I am inside my Gmail, and I can see it was sent by me. This is my Unbeatable Tech, marketing email address, and it was sent by lc.unbeatabletech.com. I'm gonna come over here, and I can see where are we at? lc.unbeatabletech.com. Okay, it's using my reputation. Not only that, I can see it was signed. So I said, digital signature to make sure that it knows it's from you and not a spoof or anybody who's spammy. Same thing. It's got it there. And I also can even see here that if I were to reply back to this email, it's going to go back the same way, and it's going to hit my Go High Level account, which is exactly what I want it to do. Hey there, I'm coming back to you in post, and I realized there's one other little bonus tip I should have given you in the technical aspect of increasing your deliverability, and here's what it is. It's called custom link branding, and what we're going to do, let me get to the area and I'll show you what it means. We're going to go to actually the agency settings at the top level, switch over there, come on down to the settings, and then go to company, and then scroll on down somewhere. Where'd they put it? There it is. API domain. Now, what the heck does this mean? That sounds very technical. So before, we just set up our domain sending for emails, and that has to do with who's sending the messages, like the contents of the messages. But now, what about all the links and all those special little references to the platform itself? So for example, if you click on special links inside ClickFunnels, it's going to have some version of ClickFunnels embedded into that link. In other words, it's going to kind of reference that platform when people engage with your email. And some people don't want that. And I think this is a bit more of a smaller benefit than what we covered earlier. But if, let's say, for example, Go High Level has some spammy activity somewhere on the platform, even the links inside the emails could transfer some of that negative juju or negative reputation through the sending system. So if you know, like, hey, this one survey site or whatever is always spammy, anybody who includes a link to that survey site could be considered spammy as well, right? It's guilty by association. But luckily, because Go High Level thinks of everything, we can fix that very easily. All we have to do, click the little question button here, we need to make a CNAME record from some domain to point to link.messengesender.com. So I'll copy that. I will use link.unbeatabletech.com. And then just like we did on the previous step, I'm going to come over to my domains and I'll make link.unbeatabletech.com. I'll turn that into a CNAME and I'll paste in where it needs to point to. This is basically just masking. Like, it's not doing anything fancy. It's just hiding the fact that MSG sender is sending those emails. And it's, I would say, more of a minor deliverability boost, but it definitely does help. So I'll save that first on my DNS to give it a chance to propagate. And then let's wait for a little bit and hit the update company button. And I'll say proceed. And it looks like it took it. Yep. Now, if I were to ever send out special trigger links in my emails, it will never reference Message Sender. It'll only reference my own domain, which is just one more place of controlling the experience and controlling the outcome for your deliverability in a positive way. All right, now let's continue on with the rest of the regularly scheduled video. All right, so all that was on the technical side. I know that's like the boring stuff, and it is very important. But if you want to get results like these, where your emails are sending almost perfectly and getting opened, it's not only a technical problem, it's also a behavioral practice. And I've got 3 tips for you to make sure that your behavioral aspect of your email sending is also on point. All right, so tip number 1 is I want to make sure you're warming up your email inbox. Now, I see people talk about fancy tools that are designed for this, and I honestly don't think that's a very good idea. I never want to let a tool just get access into my email and go back and forth. I'm not saying do that. What I am saying is only send emails to warm contacts in the beginning. Let's break that down. Let's assume that you're coming from a different email provider like ConvertKit. You've been emailing back and forth, and so you have a relationship built up with those folks. Now, if you have been sending emails regularly with them, you can bring your most engaged people over first and start emailing them from the new platform, because you're sure they're not going to be marking you as spam. They're not going to be having a massive unsubscribe rate. They're not going to be flagging you for junk or anything like that. And that can really help. Because again, first impressions matter, right? So we think about first impressions in real life. If you're meeting a new girl or a new friend or whatever, what you say that first interaction has some pretty long-lasting consequences. Same thing in email marketing. The first way you show up when you're email marketing is going to have long-term consequences to your reputation. So if you start emailing a cold list that doesn't know you, or maybe you haven't emailed them in 5 years and you start emailing them, you're going to send to a lot of email addresses that probably don't exist anymore. You're also going to get people saying, who the heck are you? And they're going to unsubscribe and mark you as spam. And that can set yourself up for failure. So warming up your email address is, you can do it 2 ways. 1, if you have an existing list that is super warm and engaged and you can email to them and you know they're going to be responding back and having conversations, do that. Number 2, if you don't have a big list, or maybe your list is a little cold, you can also only email in responses. Meaning, if you have a free lead magnet that you want to offer to people, you can get that information out over social, or you can email your cold list from the old platform. Let's say you're coming from ConvertKit. You can email your old ConvertKit list and say, hey guys, I got a new freebie for you. Click over here and download it and send that over. Then they will opt in on your new platform, on your new LC email or Go High Level email sending. And the email you send to give them the freebie, they're definitely going to open. They're definitely going to click because they want the thing, right? So it's a great way to start sending those good vibes, those good signals to your email platform, and not be spammy. All right, tip number 2 for behavioral practices for email warming and having good email deliverability is to make sure you're validating your email addresses. So how you can do that, you can head back over to your agency dashboard up here, and we're going to enable email verification. Now, what email verification is every time a new email comes into your system, we can kind of run some checks to say, hey, are you a real email or are you a fake email? Obviously, your statistics will be much better, like your open, your clicks, and your costs will be way higher if you're only collecting real people and real email addresses in your list. Some people will use fake email addresses to get free things. Who knew? And so if you keep sending emails to that fake email address, unless it bounces, then you're going to keep wasting money sending emails to a bad email address and hurting your overall statistics and reputation. So it's not a free service. I'll show you how to set it up, but it's definitely worth it in the end. So what you can do is come on down from your agency dashboard, go to your settings, go to email services, and then location settings. And you can find your location. So I'm going to find Unbeatable Tech, and I can see here email verification is currently off. I'm going to turn it on. So you can see here it's being charged at 0.2 cents per email being validated. I'll turn that on right now, and it's email created. So that's something that we can just have on, and it's going to make sure that garbage in, garbage out, right? Like, so if you don't let any garbage in, any garbage email addresses, you're not going to be sending any emails to garbage email addresses. It just kind of makes sense. Now, is this optional? Is this required? It's definitely optional if you have good practices. Like if you only have two-factor or a two-step opt-in forms where they need to go into their email address to get the freebie and things like that, you're less likely to have a big buildup of fake email addresses. But it's kind of up to you. If you want to have a higher quality list, you can add this on. It'll instantly do that for you. So I think it's a great addition to have for email deliverability. And the last thing, behaviorally, you can do is just don't be a jerk. Like that breaks down into a few different ways. Don't be an email jerk. So that means don't buy people's email lists that you don't have any reason to have. If they don't know who you are, they didn't opt in to hear from you, don't start cold emailing them from don't do it at all, but definitely don't do it from the one that you want to have a good reputation, your email address you want to have a good deliverability and reputation. It's just a bad idea. Secondly, build an actual relationship. Don't just come out of nowhere whenever you want money. So I want you to be building up that habit of sending emails at least weekly, sometimes even more frequently than that. That's going to condition your audience to either A, unsubscribe if they don't like what you're saying, in which case that's fine. Unsubscriptions are totally fine. You don't get penalized much at all for those. But B, it's going to reduce the chance they're going to mark you as spam. Because if they forget who you are, and then you come out of nowhere and say, free thing, get the sale, blah, 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 give me money, that's going to definitely turn people off and is going to ding your reputation. And lastly, if you're going to send an email, let there be some sort of value in that email. Even if you're making a promotional offer, make sure there's some value in advance, VIA, and that's going to also reduce the chance of people calling you a spammer. All right, so I hope this video was helpful because it kind of went deeper than I expected to on email verification and deliverability. If you want to go and watch me build this entire business, which is receiving those email marks, but also setting up the calendars the correct way, setting up your text messages, making sure all your regulations and everything else you need to do to get your business working quite right and having an awesome offer in there, you can go to ghl.unbeatletech.com. That particular one I'm talking about here is the 21-day high-ticket accelerator bootcamp where I went through and built out an entire application funnel, built the products, built the course, and I recorded every step for you so you can get that down and dirty and see exactly how it works. That's just one of like 8 different bonuses that I'm offering in this package. You can take a look at it and sign up for your free 30-day Go High Level trial, and I'll be there to support you every step of the way. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.